Oh, see, I said tying true, not running true.
This will definitely be interesting. Our errors are just going to be.
I know.
That's okay. Okay. So with computer graphics, we have screens, and you guys remember graphing from school and everything. So you have 0, 0 at the middle, and then up gives you positive y values, down gives you negative y values, and so forth. Computer graphics are kind of like that, but a little bit different. So up here in the top left, that is 0, 0, right there where my mouse is, right up there. And then as you go down, your y values get bigger. And as you go right, your x values get bigger. So down here I think is like 2560 by 1440, and up here is 0, 0 for your x and y coordinates. Simple enough? Okay. With dimensions, you always go width and then height. Okay. So resolution is 500y by 500 high. And that's the coordinate system in a nutshell. In computers, we have our colors stored as 3 different channels, is what we call them. Red channel, green channel, and blue channel. Here we have red, green, and blue. Sometimes there's also an alpha channel, and that's for transparency. So if you ever want something that's see-through, you'd use an alpha color. But for now, we're just going to use red, green, and blue right here. So if we look inside our game loop, which is while running, right, here's our event processing code that we're not going to worry about just yet. And then right below it, we have screen.fill and our color. So I'm going to change our color variable.
This is going to go on still. Okay, so we got to get that out.
Oh. So I'm going to make a function that says get next color.
For now, you can keep trying to
Alright, so if you look at the code, I've changed it and I made a function called getNextColor, and now every frame, I'm getting the next color. But right now, all that always returns is 0, 0, 0, which is black. So if we run it, we just get a black screen. Nothing exciting. But I'm going to make it exciting. I'm going to make it very exciting. And I'm going to import random. I'm going to seed a random number generator. That. And red equals random.randInt 0 to 255. Green equals random.randInt 0 to 255. And blue equals random.randomInt 0 to 255. And then I'm going to return that as red, green, and blue. Just like that. So the red, green, and blue channels, they have a minimum value of 0 and a maximum value of 255. And so that's what I've done, is I've generated a random number for each of those channels, and then I returned it as a single color, like that. So I run it, and this is going to be really hard to look at.
And then eventually just dies. I know.
So Right. So that is pretty simple program still. All it's doing is making random counts and following on the screen. But it's also running probably at least 100 frames per second, if I had to guess. At least. I'm going to tone that down to 30 frames per second. Still not going to be the best to look at, but that's what we're going to do. So Python or pygame has the utility for that. Pygame.time.clock, and then t delta equals clock.tick 30. And what this does is it says, okay, whenever we call clock.tick, it's going to say, okay, I'm going to wait until whatever 1,000 divided by 30 seconds is fast. So if the last time I called this was 1/30th of a second ago, then whenever I call this, it will keep going right away. I don't really know how to explain this clearly, but the effect is that your game will run no more than 30 frames per second right here. It may run less, but it won't run more. And then T delta, that's the amount of time that's passed since the last time you called clock.tick. Okay. So that's all Gucci. Alright, so now it's going to run at 30 frames per second. It's still going to be awful to look at. It'll be slightly less awful. Now, I'm going to say, but how often would you guys like to change colors? 10 frames per second? Well, but like how much time would you like it to stay one color in seconds? At least 1 second.
Yeah. Maybe 5 seconds. Yeah.
Every 5 seconds it changes colors? Okay. So if I remember right, let's look time here. It returns it in milliseconds. There are 1,000 milliseconds in 1 second. So remember I said this is how much time has elapsed since you called the tick function last. So we're going to say elapsed equals 0. Elapsed plus equals t delta, and then if elapsed is greater than or equal to 5,000, so that means it's been at least 5 seconds, then say color equals get next color. Okay? And then we can get rid of this line. Because, that line, it would run every frame, so we'd be getting a new color every frame. We don't want that. Instead, we're going to get a new color every 5,000 seconds. And then once it's been, 5 seconds, say elapsed minus equals 5,000. And then we'll wait for the next time. So when you run this, it should only change every 5 seconds.
So what does that sound like?
A lot less stressful to look at, right? This is actually kind of relaxing.
It looks different on
Oh, that is a good idea. I like it.
How would we make it so that it could change every second, and then go for 5 seconds, and then change every 2 seconds?
Now, see, that's the interesting thing about game programming. So normal programming, you go line by line by line by line by line, and just one thing at a time. Well, game programming, at least for you guys, it's still like that, but your code, it has to happen all at once, and then all at once again, and then all at once again, and then all at once again. for a frame. And it's still going one at a time, but each time has to be super short and unnoticeable. So it looks like all the individual lines are happening at once, multiple times in a row. Does that make sense? So you can't really just tell your code to stop for 3 seconds, right? Because then the rest of your stuff doesn't happen. So that's kind of what makes game programming challenging.
Couldn't you do an action that would take it like a certain amount of seconds?
Like during those seconds, they could just have one color and then go back to change it.
I've never lied.
We'll get to more on that later. For now, I just want to show you guys how to do things, how to change the colors, and how to put a picture on there. But I think for the time being, that was enough for you guys to take in. I'm going to paste this code onto Pastebin, and it should be available later on tonight or today. And this YouTube video should be up in 20 minutes or so, just in time for lunch. But